JJ on the track,
Let's get ready to rumble! Good morning. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr. And the name of the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Today, folks, we're going to discuss Kanye West's visit to the White House to see Donald Trump. We're going to talk a little bit about more some of the things that we need to do as a people. And we're just going to have a good conversation, something that can make you think, because that's what this show about. But if you ain't got nothing to do, call a friend, let them know you're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Let the truth be told. I would rather for you to hurt me with the truth than compliment me with a lie. See you in a second.
Lord, please have mercy. Man, homie, what I'm feeling lonely. Cause it's the truth that's shaping moment. Truth be told. Cause I'm married to it. If it ain't the truth, man, I don't wanna do it. Real love, be official. It bear forgiveness and it be sacrificial. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth.
And welcome back. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr. And the show is Let the Truth Be Told. First, I want to give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Yahshua. That's Jesus for y'all who don't know what that means. And I want to welcome my Facebook Live fans. Share it up. I want to welcome my listeners, and I want to welcome all the new listeners to the show. Let me get started by saying this. I want to lay the groundwork. Oh, no, hold up. Hold up. I'm sitting over here, my brother from Indy here in the house with me. Alan, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Big Al. How you doing?
And this show is dedicated to all the Libras out there. His birthday the 17th, mine the 22nd, and you know Libra rules, baby. That's it. But let me lay the groundwork. You know, the black community is in a war. And we are totally under siege right now.
We are.
Brothers and sisters out here, we can always find a way. That's because of our mentality to point fingers at other people who they say that don't do nothing, or they didn't do it right, or didn't do it the way they were supposed to do it. They always have something to say regarding something if somebody don't do it the way that they feel it should be done. Now, I've been looking at a lot of comments to some of the so-called Democratic leadership. People who running around here getting ready to vote for Jessica and put another crooked governor into office. I'm listening and looking at some of the comments from these things from people who won't bust a grape, who won't do nothing in the community, who sit around on Facebook. They be doing little articles and stuff about what we should be doing and point fingers at people on what they ain't doing. So this show is for your ass. This is for you. Now, my brother Kanye West. A lot of y'all look at Kanye, they say, well, he done lost his back card. He ain't from Chicago. He don't know what he's talking about. He's a fool. You can have all these negative things to say about this brother. But what he did was he got an audience with the president of the United States. Now, a lot of y'all Negroes been fueled with hatred for Trump because the Democrats told you to. And another thing, he has ran his mouth and made some people hate him as well. But if you look behind the scenes, the economy is booming. He already told factories, if y'all don't get your butts back to the United States, y'all got to pay high tariffs. He's dealing with the Chinese at another level. He's dealing with the North Koreans. He done went over there and did something Obama couldn't do, and all the rest of this presidents did not do. Go over there and sit down and talk with that young man and try to make some sense out of that. He's doing that. He got some balls and he ain't scared. The previous presidents didn't have that. And even though he say all the crazy stuff he say, he's a racist and all this and that, and he is. But the fact of the matter is this, black people, Donald Trump is a distraction for us. We done took the bait hook, line, and sinker. Instead of us understanding what we're about to fight with this society that'll make America white again, it's the slogan, black people need to quit complaining and we need to start organizing ourselves so that we can create our own economic wealth. We still sitting around here waiting for master to free us. We still sitting around here complaining that they closed schools in our neighborhood and we ain't got stores and no grocery stores and we don't have banks and all of that. The only reason why we don't have those things is because we do not invest back into the black community. Everybody else do it. The whites do it. Hispanics do it. Chinatown do it. Ask yourself, why in our community are we the only ones living like this? Ain't nobody else living like this. Ain't nobody kids being killed. Ain't nobody closing schools. This is not happening in no other race but the black race. And so we have to stand back sometimes because you can't see the forest for the trees. We need to just step back and take a look at what we're dealing with and then organize ourselves to strategize so we can create a path through this forest with lions, tigers, and bears so that we can send our children through this maze and be successful. Now, Kanye is from Chicago. His mother worked over there at Chicago State. Not super rich people. He could have been a spoiled boy. He might not articulate things right. One thing I can say, that brother got in front of the president. And for all y'all who said, yeah, he was putting all the words together, which he should have just took his time and spoke more articulate. But he didn't because he was being conscious of the time that he had and he was trying to cram everything together. So for all of y'all who said, and another thing, a lot of y'all mad at Kanye because he got a white woman. That's his business. Kanye is a multi-millionaire. He's smart enough to make millions and millions of dollars. And some of y'all Negroes sitting out there, y'all ain't making $30,000 or $25,000 a year, and y'all got comments about a man that's a trillionaire. And the next thing I'm gonna say is this: if you're complaining about what he did, go to the mirror and look at yourself and ask yourself if you can call and get an audience with the president. Ask yourself why you're not making $300 million. Ask yourself the questions that you need to ask yourself before you start condemning somebody who might not articulate the way that you feel, but at least he had the heart and the balls to stand up and say something. For what y'all heard, let me tell you what I heard. I heard Kanye talk about welfare reform, which we do. We do need to get off our butts, get off welfare, start investing into each other, and doing the things that we need to do to help our own community. He had an opportunity to say something about that. What you think about that, Al? We're going to go over this list right quick.
Well, you have to be politically correct with everything you say these days, or otherwise you're going to get flack for it. But welfare reform, I basically have no opinion other than the fact that I know that it is some mothers out there that desperately need it. You know what I mean? But most of the working class citizens are angry because they feel they pay taxes so they can get this money. Does that make sense?
Well, I understand what you're saying. It's this. Let's be very clear. There's more white folks on welfare than it is black people.
That's what they say.
It is. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Okay. And so what the white media does is they focus on welfare is a good tool to use, because if you don't have money and you can get this help, then it's something that can be used to help you get back on your feet until you can find a job
Absolutely.
or start a business or whatever the case may be.
But
It's
how
a good
many
tool.
of those are really looking for a job? They rely on this and get comfortable with it.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's something that see, and this is why I'm an independent. Both parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, those parties try to control people so that they can get votes from them. And the Democratic Party has been the master of this. They make black people feel like, okay, you didn't get your 40 acres in the mule, but you got welfare. We're going to give you that little check every month, and we're going to tell you that we don't want no man in your house. It's just got to be you and your single mom. It's got to be you and your kids, and that's it. So this practice has been used all along to control us and help destroy the black family. And the Democratic Party has used welfare as a dangling carrot in front of black people just to keep them voting for them. And so if black people really took a look at where we was at, we could deal with welfare in a different type of manner. If we decided that we wanted to start to reinvest into ourselves and invest back into our community, invest into our schools, if we did those things and we invested into economic development and bringing some type of factories and other type of economic development to our community, then welfare will not play the role as a tool for the Democratic Party and the Republican Party to use against black people. That's it in a nutshell. Now, Kanye also said, doing his gibbering, he talked about the incarceration rate of black people. Now, black people, we already know, full of our brothers and sisters, mothers and cousins and kids. We already know that. But we got all these programs, we got all these leaders, we got all these politicians, we got all these pastors who making money off the reentry programs. We got all these people that's getting all this money, Safer Foundation, TAS, the court system. I mean, the jails is private. I'm not saying nothing y'all don't already know. But what are we doing about it? Y'all pastors running up there to the state, y'all getting that reentry money to act like you're going to help somebody when they come home. You got Dorothy Brown sitting over there at the clerk's office having a reentry thing where people coming back to get their records expunged. Hell, that ain't true. I've been to those little summits. It's going to cost them guys $200 or $300 to talk to the lawyer to get kind of process started. And most of the time, it don't work. So the incarceration rate of black men and women and children is high. It's something that all these legislators who've been out there, all the political leaders, y'all know who y'all is. Y'all state representative, that's something y'all should have collectively got together and start to deal with that so that we can stop it. What you think, Al?
I think they're trying to fill them prisons is what I think, them privately owned prisons. I mean, long as there's crime,
it pays.
It pays.
And so
that's what I think.
And so
my opinion.
I'm just giving you a list. And I'm trying to make you think right now, because think before you go and holler about what's doing nothing. What's that?
Why you think so many of these black younger people, women, children, men, you name it, are being incarcerated for minor crimes and being held and sent to these prisons for little or nothing.
That's because every time somebody spends a year in jail, each person, they can claim over $100,000 on that inmate.
Per person.
Per person. Per person. The state have gotten with private entities. They have them. They start looking at our kids from the 3rd grade on and start debating on with those tests, aptitude tests, who gonna go to jail, who we gonna give drugs and say they got ADDH or whatever the hell it is, and who we gonna incarcerate.
That's how they're controlling our youth.
And so all y'all haters out there who's talking loud and saying nothing, I'm asking you, what do you plan to do, contribute to stop the mass incarceration? Now let's go on down the list a little bit more. Now these are all the things, these are some of the things that when Kanye was gibbering, and some of y'all refer to him as a coon, that might be true.
It is.
But the truth of the matter is that at least the coon was in front of the president. At least the coon is a multimillionaire and look at yourself in the mirror and see if you can do that or if you got millions. Okay, moving right along. Kanye also said something about mental health. The Black community is suffering from mental health issues. The health care in the Black community is nowhere equal to what it is in the white community. You go to these hospitals like Jackson Park, Roseland, Loretto on the west side. I'm an insurance advisor. I deal with all these hospitals throughout the area. And the hospitals in that network, they call the death hospital. You can go to Jackson Park for a scratch and you might not come out of there. The health care is poor. The quality of care is poor. But that's only in the Black community. The mental health issues that our young people have, uneducated, some of them need to be on meds. Some of our adults need to be on some meds too.
Real talk.
There's real health issues and mental issues that's in the Black community that's not being addressed. Opposed to trying to build more jails, we should be taking money and trying to address the issue of mental health in the Black community, because a lot of our children and adults need that and seniors need it. So I'm scratching my head wondering why, if Kanye is saying gibberish, y'all house Negroes, if he's saying this stuff through his gibberish, at least he's in front of somebody who might respect him, because Donald Trump don't respect none of y'all Negroes out here talking. Y'all ain't got no money. Y'all still waiting for jobs, just over broke. At least Kanye was sitting in front of him and had an audience. Just keep that in your mind when you start talking crap, okay? Moving right along. Kanye addressed the fact that in the schools, because when we was coming along, there was art, football, all home economics, all those different type of life skill type of source. You know, he talking about we need to bring that stuff back. We need to have art in school. You know, somebody ain't always going to be a trades person, or somebody's not always going to be the college bound person. So art was a different way to express themselves and find out a lot of things of what they might want to do. So art was a good class. It just wasn't about drawing. Kanye talked about that. Also, he talked about the performing arts school in conjunction with that. That means some of our kids got a lot of talent. They might want to be actors, actresses. Everybody just don't want to be a comedian and tell jokes and look like Kevin Hart. So, I mean, these are educational things that we need in our community. But again, I'm saying out of his gibberish, he is there saying these things, but I don't see none of the legislators there I don't see no senators there, no black senators, no black legislators. All y'all black politicians who piled up and had something negative to say about this brother, why don't y'all pile y'all ass up in a car, go to Washington, D.C. with a list of things that need to be done, because y'all the ones that getting paid out of taxpayers' money, and articulate some real shit to the president and bring the money back and put it in your community. Did you hear that? Moving right along. Because I'm saying, if Kanye had the chance to be in front of him, to talk about these things, to even put it on his radar. Because see, the president, though he hate niggas, he gonna respect Kanye because he got money. Believe it or not. And y'all know money talks and bullshit walk. That's why he was in front of the president. It's two more things that I'm gonna cover, and then we gonna open it up. If y'all want to call 708-223-8953. I know some of y'all might be chomping at the bit, y'all talking crap or whatever, but I'm just breaking down the facts in black and white. And I'm saying, before you start talking about somebody and talking all this bull crap, then ask yourself, can I do that? Can I call the president? Can you call the president?
No, I couldn't if I wanted to.
Anybody out there on Facebook Live talking crap, can you call the president? Who can you call to get in front of to make a difference? If you can't do that, and if you ain't in the community fighting, quit talking shit.
But see, here's the thing.
Go on, Alan,
There's so many superstars out there. I'm talking black superstars. Don't make me call you out.
Call them out.
There's so many of you that can.
Michael Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? That can. Oprah Winfrey. You know what I'm saying? There's so many that can call a meeting with the president and tell him what we really need.
But again, Trump is the distraction. Y'all black
need
people
to come together.
Black people, y'all ain't got it yet.
My young people. Oh my God.
We done abandoned our children. We've allowed our children to become
Do you see
animals.
What's happening here? Do you see what's happening?
Police in our neighborhood.
Do you see?
Running our children down like they having a big game hunt.
I think we're on the verge of being
distinct.
If we don't change who we are, if we don't get some of those that can face the president down and tell him what we need, we're on the verge of extinction. Don't make me break it down for you.
Man, please break it down.
Let me break it down for you, because if we ain't woke by now, it might just be too late.
In this society, like them Steve Curry type Negroes.
Yes, absolutely.
They ain't gonna bust a grape.
I've heard rappers, certain rappers, I won't mention no names, but I've heard them say, I can't have no baby with no dark-skinned black woman. I mean, that kind of
it's the Willie Lynch.
Wow.
It's the Willie Lynch mind theory.
Willie Lynch syndrome. Of course it is.
And black people, we ain't woke up to this shit yet. We still separating ourselves. Excuse me. We still separating ourselves because of the color of our skin. He got big lips. He got little lips. He got curly hair. That mindset is what's got us here today.
It has.
And we abandon our children. That's why our children killing each other. They out there fighting over stupid stuff they see on Facebook. They fighting over territories. They fighting over stuff because, oh, you a GD, I'm a vice lord. Them brothers don't even understand that they black men and women.
One of the same.
Now, moving right along.
Believe it or not, we are one.
Now, while Kanye was babbling in his gibberish, he also said, we need to stop. We don't need to use stop and frisk in the black community. Now, they talking about stop and frisk. If you don't know what, I'm going to tell you what it is. Stop and frisk is when
it's
it's a form of racial profiling. And by the way, y'all can see my racial profiling gear I got on today. I deal with the United Negro League to spring this clothing line. Everybody should be wearing this gear. It's from the living and driving out. We should be wearing it. We've been dealing with racial profiling for a long time. These are one of the things when I was working with the fight in New York, the stop and frisk. If you don't understand what the stop and frisk is,
tell them what it means.
You walking down the street. You ain't bothering nobody. You minding your own business. The police pull up on you. They see you. They tell you they can ask you for ID if they want to, but they are allowed to frisk you, go through your pockets, pull your stuff out, and treat you like a second-class citizen. The stop and frisk,
criminal.
Yes, the stop and frisk is the legalization side of racial profiling.
Yes, it is.
If you don't understand racial profiling, don't know no color. But racial profiling is used against you.
You're not gonna stop Biff and search him.
Exactly.
Him. You know.
There ain't no stop and frisk in the white neighborhood. Them white cops ain't gonna stop and frisk nobody.
Of course not.
That's what I'm saying about earlier. This is all in our community. All of this stuff has happened to us. So what Kanye was saying while he was gibbering that we don't risk in the city of Chicago. We already got enough police officers racial profiling. That's why a lot of our young people are being killed. Just like the young man, Stephen Rosenthal, a black kid, that's a Jewish name anyway, but he was killed in Chicago. They said he committed suicide and shot himself when the police saw him with a gun and he ran up in the building and supposedly was trapped like shot himself. How many of y'all believe that? I'm asking, how many actually?
Well, if you do, I got some land.
I got a bridge that I can sell to you.
I want to sell you a little land.
You know, that's just like Laquan McDowell. He got shot 16 by Van Dyke, and Van Dyke said in his testimony, and this is why white people do stuff and say things to us to see if we gonna check them. He had the audacity to get on the stand and say, yeah, I shot him 16 times, but I was trying to shoot the knife out of his hand. You know how asinine that sound? Black people, do you know that he thought that we were going to buy that? Well, if you hadn't kept moving the knife around, I would have stopped shooting. You shot a man 16 times.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he was trying to shoot the knife out of his hand. Like you the Lone Ranger or something.
Damn.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that we got a lot of issues. And these issues is not going to stop in the black community. We need a purge. And I say it all the time. And people look at me and they be like, oh, dude, you know, he just talking crap. He just doing this. But I invite people all the time. Inbox me. My number, 708-663-5262. Living and Driving While Black Foundation don't take no prisoners. We don't. When we work on a case, we get the case done. We get justice. You can run our record. It says the work we do. I ain't just sitting up here talking crap. Google my name. There's so much stuff out there about the work God has let me do. God has allowed me to do things, and that's why I'm sitting on this mic trying to get my people to understand if we come together, if we start to work together, it would change overnight. We just got to change the way we think. And so the last thing,
slave mentality.
The last thing that I'm going to talk about that Kanye said, that was right up there with one of the most important things to me. When Kanye said we needed to free Larry Hoover. Now, I grew up in Inglewood. I grew up amongst all the GDs, the BDs, everybody else, the bosses, all of that. Larry numbers out, man. Gator, King David, Shorty Freeman. All them brothers had love for us that was in the hood. There was rules and regulations and there was structures that had to be followed. A shout out to King Don Dirk, Advisor Bo. Y'all brothers keeping it real out here 100, trying to organize everybody. I love that in you. But it was structured. There was things you couldn't do. There was things that you had to do. You had to be in your community and you had to have a good name. You had to help people in the community. It just wasn't about selling dope. It wasn't about shooting nobody. It was about us being men and learning how to be a man. If you were going to be on any of the sets, if you had to go to school and you had to get good grades. It was a structure that made them who they were. Yes, I agree. The chairman need to be freed because he's a political prisoner. Jeff Ford, Larry.
I was gonna say if you're gonna free him, then you gotta free Jeff Ford too.
You gotta free them brothers because
free him too.
If they get out, structure will come back to the street organizations because a lot of people love and respect Larry. A lot of people love and respect Jeff. And those young brothers that's going to be a part of the clique, all the old brothers can come out. We need to come out now, and we need to start organizing ourselves because we are the army for black people. When I was coming up, there was not all these white police shooting because we was policing the police. The GDs was policing the police. The Black Panthers were policing the police. The Vice Lords were policing the police in Chicago. And the list going on. Those brothers are not allowing white officers to come into the community and gun us down the way that they're doing now. And so if you bring Larry back, you bring Jeff back, let those two brothers sit together. They got a lot of power. They can cuff these shorties.
Are you listening?
They can bring us back to the forefront of the community. We know the laws. We need to follow them. We need to be putting our money together. Instead of putting money together to buy dope, we can put money together and we can buy the vacant slots in the community because I know that's what they used to do. They are rookies, bought property. It was constructive. It wasn't destructive. Everybody wasn't perfect. Yeah, we had our problems, but guess what? We handle our own problems. And now we have no structure. The leadership is gone. Everybody's fighting for what they want to fight, the different cliques. Real G's out here ain't on that. Real Lords ain't on that. So yes, free the chairman, free Jeff Ford. Let them brothers come back and organize these brothers on the streets. But as I'm sitting here in reality,
but believe it or not,
that's not gonna happen.
I was just getting ready to say that. That's not gonna happen because surely as we know, that would change everything. White folks know too.
And that's why they did it.
And they ain't gonna let that shit happen, no matter what he's saying. But we would love to have the chairman back and Ford back. Of course. I mean, free them. Free them.
But to all my brothers of the struggle, all the bosses and the GDs and BDs, this is a wake-up call for us. It's been a wake-up call for us. We need to organize ourselves.
And I think they would. I absolutely think they would organize things.
They would.
If they were to be free. I think they would.
And that's why I talk about Don Dirk, man.
And one more thing. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But what white people don't understand, they fear the most.
And they fear black people.
They fear the most.
They fear us because they know all the dirt they've done to us. They know that we built this country. They know that they separated families and raped our women and raped our men and sold our children. Y'all done forgot about that?
They try to play like it never existed.
What's wrong with y'all new wave Negroes? Y'all forgot about how you got here. Y'all worried about the Hispanics and I love my brown brothers too. But black families is under attack. We in a war. Y'all done forgot about how we got here.
Straight war zone. And the crazy thing about that is we in a war zone with each other.
And that's the most killing part.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Does that make sense? We in a war with each other.
Tupac said it best. I'm not worried about the white man killing me. It's my own kind killing me here.
Wow, it's crazy.
He said it's my own kind killing me.
My own kind. My own kind.
And that's what we have to do.
My own kind.
We have to stop that.
We have to clean that up somehow.
Man,
we have to clean that up.
I know it's got to be. I know. If you don't, if it doesn't
be a solution.
If it doesn't hurt your heart,
it almost has to be.
To look at the murders every day of black men, women, and children at the hands of the police. It just got to hurt you some kind of way. And if it don't, you've gotten conditioned to death.
Right. Absolutely.
You done got conditioned. This is not how it's supposed to be. Our young people ain't supposed to be out there being chased by the police, and they thinking that this is normal. Oh, Billy got killed yesterday. Oh, that shit normal, man. We do it all the time. They getting killed all the time.
They desensitizing these young people to death. It doesn't scare them or bother them to die, to take a life. Now, what is that? Why is it like that?
Now,
why?
Now think about this. Think about if we took those young people and we went out there and we gave them alternatives. We taught them to think differently, to value themselves. We taught them how to navigate through this system. Either start a business, create your own economic wealth. That's what they were saying at the summit that I was with them. They waiting for us. They waiting for brothers to come out there and show them something. They get kicked out of school for the littlest of things, you know. Then once you get that label, you know, you uneducated, you can't read that well, but you can hustle. And that's our fault, man, because we ain't cuffed these kids and we ain't did nothing for them.
I haven't taught them anything.
All y'all activists, man. I guess
social media is
I get so sick.
These kids.
I get so sick of the guys, man. I see them on social media. I see these politicians on social media. I see these wannabe politicians on social media. Y'all got a great conversation about what you think you're doing. And I invite people all the time.
A lot of them can talk the talk.
I invite people all the time. And I'm going to do this again. I want those who are serious about making a change here in Chicago. I want all y'all brothers who will sit around and say, oh, that brother talking crap. And if you think that, I'm challenging other organizations. Now, here we go. I'm challenging other organizations. I'm challenging the fraternities. Y'all know who y'all is. I'm challenging the sororities. I'm challenging the Masons. I'm challenging the Eastern Stars. I'm challenging all these royal and fraternities, sororities to inbox me. My number is 708-663-5262. And the reason why I'm putting this challenge out here, all of y'all organizations was built on the premise of helping your people. You went off to college and you became whatever that you became. And part of your pledge is to come back home and help your community, because you do supposedly a lot of customer service work for the community. And the reason why I'm challenging you is this: stop just going to the good communities. Stop just doing something to say I did something. And the challenge to you is this. Inbox me or call me. Let's sit down and meet. And I will go to the Park District and I will get the field house at Moran Park on 57th and Racine in Inglewood. I'll call. I'll set a date up. We can meet there. We can walk the community and we can strategize on how we can stop the violence. Don Dirt, BDs, Bosses, Stones, all of y'all. That's my challenge.
You really want this thing to end in Chicago?
Let us come together and see how it ends.
Free Jeff Fort. Free them guys, man.
Wait a minute. Let us
Free
come.
them guys.
Let us, even if y'all, half of y'all gonna be scared, they're gonna be like, I'm not going down to Inglewood. We'll meet you somewhere else. We can meet at Corey Brooks Church. Can y'all frat brothers come to Chicago? Some of y'all will, some of y'all won't. Some of the sorority sisters will, some of y'all won't. But I'm saying to you, you're part of this community. You're indoors. You can open doors and help your community, and we can make the change together. But we're not going to make the change if we can't never get in the same room and talk about what we can bring to the table besides bullcrap. So that's my challenge. I'll rent the field house down on 57th and Racine, right there, Moran Park. I'll call Dirk, Minister Rico, call all the other gang organizations, and let's meet there. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring all my educated brothers and sisters and all our street brothers together, and we are the elders now. This is our turn. We are the elders. Our mamas and daddies is dying out. They gave their lives for us. The dog, the hoses, the hangings, they gave their life for us. They gave their life for you to go to school. They gave their life for me to start a business. Given our children. What legacy have we given them to lead and take on? We haven't given them nothing. So this mess is our fault. We've allowed white people to come into our community, kill our kids, drain the economics out. We got Arabs all over the place and do all of this stuff in our community. And yet we got all this power. We got money. We got smarts. We got positions. We got labels. We got titles, and we ain't got nothing.
Because we don't have each other.
So that's my challenge to you.
Simple as that.
So that's what we need to do. I'm sending out that to my brothers and sisters. Dr. King did it. Dr. King was a fraternity man. I believe Dr. King was a Sigma.
Something like that.
And look what he did. He wasn't scared. He came and stayed in Chicago.
Something you have to put it out there, regardless of what's gonna happen to you. That's selfish. You know what I mean?
Well, I got this job. I'm making selfish. About $100,000 a year. And I got this big old house. I got all these kids. I have all those things. But what happens when he decides to take it away from you? What happens when it's in your house? And that's why I keep saying, all those organizations, man, y'all got my number, 708-635-5262. Y'all call me. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. There's some things and issues in the community I want to talk to. I love Kanye for what he said. And if it didn't come out right, we still got to support that brother. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told. Let the truth be told. It'll move your soul. See you in a second.
It's your boy Preacher. Yeah. True. Come on. Hey, the truth. Hey, the truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Yeah, I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. me. And I know that you care for me. You're always down for me. You always there to pick me up. You quit my thirst when I was thirsty. I feel like Lord, please have mercy. Man, homie, when I'm feeling lonely, cause it's the truth that shape and mold me. Truth be told, cause I'm married to it. If it ain't the truth, man, I don't wanna do it. Real love, be official. It bear forgiveness and ambition. I'm married to truth. I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. Yeah, I'm married to the truth. I'm married to the truth. What? Come on.
And welcome back. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr., and the show is Let the Truth Be Told.
Tell the truth.
Well, I'm winding down on what Kanye said, and
Truth shall set you free.
I'm always when I look at TV, my heart is broken all the time, man. I walk around with a broken heart, and it's broken because of our people and how we don't see the things that's happening to us,
It's sad.
and how we don't really have an idea or a clue to change it. And so, I get on this mic, man. I travel all over the country. I'll be in Ben Harbor on the 27th. I got a call from Detroit, Michigan. Some of the pastors want me to come there and talk about the state of affairs of the Black community and how we can change a lot of things if we decide to begin to trust each other again, Alan. Um, the wedge that's between us has been placed there purposely, so we're not able to see each other in a positive light. It's always because I belong to this, or I got that, or I got this and I got that. I stated the other day that what's the difference between a rich man and a poor man when he dies? There is none. There might be just one difference. That poor person that has suffered down here on this earth, he might have a chance at eternal life. Because you can't put everything into your name ain't nothing. It's just a name. And you can't build no name off your car and your house and your titles and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, and I mean at the end of the day, when you stop breathing and they drop you in that box, none of that goes with you. And so my challenge still stands, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that the foundation is doing. The Living and Driving While Black Foundation has been around for about 15 to 20 years now. I've had an opportunity to work with, Jesse was good in his time. I was a protege of Al Sharpton in New York. Johnny Cochran, an opportunity to work with some great people. And this foundation was created out of necessity. We started with racial profiling. We wrote some legislation that Obama claimed. I've said this story a bunch of times, but I'm just trying to give you the type of, I'm giving you an attitude and of some of the things that we've done and that we're capable of doing. The foundation right now, we continue to try to work with everybody that we can. We want to work with other organizations as well. That's why I'm challenging the brothers and sisters from the different organizations to call me and let's sit down and get together and strategize on how we can do it. Bring what you have to the table, because we all ain't gonna have everything. T.O. Hardeman, my brother, it's a lot of activists out here, that's doing some things. My boy Johnny, Karen Higgs, there's some sisters out here and brothers out here really on point doing some things. Brian Mullen, some political people. Andre Patrick, one of my homeboys, that's a Q. I love you, Dre. You keep posting what you post, and maybe they'll wake up in a while. We have to stop just sitting on Facebook and the social media and start coming face to face. Back in the day, that's what happened. All the old athletes got together, all the political leaders got together, all the pastors got together, and they got in one room and they came up with the solutions of the civil rights. And that's what we have right now. That was passed down to us through our ancestors and our parents who died for it. And so we dropped the ball because we did not continue to organize ourselves, continue to fight for our children. And so that's why I'm asking people to come and meet with me, because I got the brothers in the streets. The brothers in the streets, I can make a phone call and they'll come. It's the brothers who have disassociated yourself from your community, that's in the different fraternal organizations and stuff like that have stepped away from us because they feel like they don't need us and that they're better than us because they have education. And like I said again, at the end of this day, we gonna need each other. We need each other right now. In your town, and it's happening in my town. Brothers from the streets, brothers from the organizations. If we get together, we'll strengthen the community. Because we'll become an army again. We got soldiers, we got captains. But we will have that army again that'll stop all these killings. So the foundation itself is comprised of a lot of things. And one of the components I want to talk about right quick is for our seniors. Our seniors who we have cast to the side, our mothers and our fathers, our aunties and uncles died in the struggle, those are still living. They're having challenges every day. My organization, D. Lowry and Associates, a year ago, I became a licensed by the state of Illinois, and I got certifications to go out and teach and educate seniors about Medicare. And it's the type of business that's rewarding, because for the past year, I've been going to senior buildings. I've been getting before audiences of seniors. I've been talking to them. Our seniors are being well taken advantage of. They don't understand the Medicare system. They're on fixed incomes. They're staying in nursing homes. They're being taken advantage of. They're not getting the proper medical care. They don't understand the direct health care, you name it. They do not understand these things. And so our organization has been setting up appointments and going out and teaching them about these benefits. We help them find extra money. If they need to go to the state and get state assistance, we can sit down with them and help them navigate through these things. We started with about 10 to 15 people, and I mean, it's soaring. I'm getting calls every day, and I'm specialties. And I'm educating our seniors, the backbone of our community. We pretty much throw them away like we throw away the children. So this foundation has found a niche as far as helping the seniors understand these medical products. We basically have become an advocate for the seniors who work with us. If they get bills they don't understand, one of my associates will go over, they'll talk to them, they'll read the bills. Providers that double bill the seniors. And a lot of y'all young people right now who have parents who are older, who are dealing with this Medicaid thing, you don't know this business. You might think you know. You might know that, I can make a difference between United Healthcare for my mom or dad, or I can use Humana. You don't know what's behind those plans, and you don't understand how the benefits operate. And so out of that need for the seniors, we created business to go out, to sit down with them, to go over the plans with them, to make sure their doctors are in the network, to make sure the hospitals that they need are in the network. If they need special treatment, they'll go to specialists and stuff like that. We monitor that. We monitor their health plan. We make calls for them because they don't understand. And the most saddest part of it is that we have a lot of black agents just selling them plans and making money off them and don't care whether their health care is the best or not. As an advisor, we don't sell. We educate. We can write and put people in plans. But what we do is we sit down with those seniors, and I mean, they love us for this. We sit down with them and explain these plans to them, and we help them get in a good plan. We monitor their healthcare benefits throughout the year. We make that phone call to them twice a month to say, "Hey, Miss Johnson, how you doing? How's the plan working? Is there some things that we could do for you? How are you living? Do we need to help you find extra money?" We do those things for our seniors because our brothers are suffering because of the lack of knowledge and they don't know. And so open enrollment starts Monday, October 15th through December 7th. And if you're the power of attorney, you have an older parent, you don't understand the system, call us. Call the foundation. It don't cost you nothing. We don't charge nobody nothing for the work we do. Get us on the phone if you don't understand it, and let us help you navigate through these plans. So that means that your mothers and your fathers won't be taken advantage of. We can teach you how to use these plans to their advantage because they've already paid their dues. They've already died in the struggle. There's a lot of them have died in the struggle. A lot of them need our help now. And so if you need us to just sit down and sit with you, call us 708-663-5262. We are specialists in the Medicare and the Medicaid field. That's our main focus. Our focus is just that. So that we can help our seniors get through their stuff so that they can continue to live until their older days. And saying that, I want to thank everybody for listening. I'm going to ask people on Facebook to share this. I hope that we were able to drop a little knowledge on you. Alan, your last words.
Well, I really don't have a lot of last words except for we got to get this thing together, people. Our black people. We got to get it together. We have to do better. We have to come together because if we don't, like I said, we're on the verge of extinction. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Peace.
These are my last words. I want everybody to just think for a minute. Think about how we can make the community better. Not think about the negative things. Think about all the positive things that we can do as a team. You know, there's a lot of issues that we face. But just like everybody else, they come together and they deal with those issues. They deal with the school closings. They deal with not having economic development in the community. White folks do this all the time. They sit down and they strategize on what they do to help their communities and save and provide some legacy for their children. Black people, we used to do that. If it wasn't for my mom and dad, I never would have had the business sense to think about opening a business at 17 years old. We have to get ourselves to a place where we take the communities back, and it's plain and simple. Because if we don't, I'm serious. Look at the writing on the wall. When y'all folks got that text to your cell phones the other day, and they was testing to see if everybody got it, the real test was there's a disaster about to hit this earth, and the United States is going to be in a terrible place. And if you're not ready for this, the militia is going to take over. The world going to be at chaos. And black people, we're going to be in cages again.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. So let us get together. Let us start a dialogue again. Call me 708-663-5262. You can inbox me on Facebook. You can go to my website, www.livingdrivingwhileblack.org. And let's put our minds together. Let's strategize. And let's bring peace to our neighborhood, hope, some reality, and development in the black structure. You're listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. The Rebels of Radio did it again.